Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? This is Easy Things to Draw, and this is the basic course, and we're going to be going over facial features. Today we're going over the mouth, the lips. Let's just say the lips, I guess. And so the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to go over the basic structure of the lips from the front view. And again, this is just a basic kind of polygonal kind of form. So if you look at the mouth from the front, let's just say we flatten it out. Let's just say that's the opening of the mouth. There is this center kind of diamond here on the upper lip, and it goes down there. The bottom, it kind of splits in two, the bottom. So like I said, this is the basic structure form if you were to simplify it kind of down to its simplest roots. And like I said, it's a center part with other kind of, basically, it's essentially three triangles, I like to think about it. And the bottom has these two fat pads, but to simplify them down, I simplify them down into these rectangular shapes. But that would be the very, very, very basic form of the lips, because the lips kind of look like, I don't know. I guess if you don't really study it, it just kind of looks like this wiggly thing you're not sure of. But that's kind of the structure right here. Broken down, very simplified. To kind of like and obviously let's get into it, So the lips, when you really kind of would, like, this is just like the simplest way to look at it. You can also look at it as, when you kind of see it as more fleshy and organic. The lips have a kind of bow shape to them. Let me kind of move this downward so I get this on camera. The lips, and you can kind of, I learned this from, I believe the last name of the artist is Vanderpool, very old artist. It looks like a Cupid's bow. That's what the upper lip looks like. It looks like a Cupid's bow. See how it kind of looks like that? Like you fire an arrow through it. But that upper lip looks very Cupid's bowy. You know what I mean? So you kind of have this roundness over here. This kind of turned in, and then other roundness on the other side. And this is front facing. And you can kind of see those divisions there. That triangle, it's split into three. And you have the bottom lip down here. Like I said, it's two kind of fat pads. You know what I mean? Sorry about that. There's kind of two fat pads down here. These are kind of circular. So that would be a general lip type right there. Very broad, and like I said, everybody's lips are different. And I'm going to go over that too. I am going to go very much into that. So this is the broken down form of the lips. This is a very generic kind of lip type, just to kind of get that through. And let's kind of look at the lip type. Let's kind of get into it. The lips, very similar to the eyes. And when I talked about the eyes before, the eyes actually wrap around the eyeball. And this is the same thing. When you think of right here, the tooth cylinder, let me move this downward. When you think of the tooth cylinder, that's what that literally is here within the kind of the skull that we have. Think of it as a literal cylinder. So the lips will wrap around, let me use this. The lips will actually wrap around this. You know what I mean? It will literally wrap around the tooth cylinder. So because of that, you kind of treat it like a can. So let's say right here, you have the lips. If it's turning downward, remember how I said it's wrapping around? If it's turning downward, the lips will be You're gonna find where the lips are gonna attach right there, but this will kind of wrap around that cylinder, if that makes sense. And actually, as it turns downward, you're going to see less of the upper lip. I kind of have it showing a lot there, but you're going to see less of it. And let's just say that it's turning upward right here. It's gonna wrap around again the cylinder. As the lips as the head aims upward, you're gonna see more of the upper lip. You see more of that wall. You know what I mean? And less of the lower lip. Let's kind of talk about that. So when you're drawing in the lips from the side view, hopefully you can see this. I can see it through the other lines. When you're drawing the lips from the side view, it looks kind of like that, like a kind of a 3. Because that's completely in profile. And generally, people that have underbites and overbites, it obviously changes. You know what I mean? So, like, let's say there is an overbite, underbite, right? It's going to kind of do this. And let's just say the person had an overbite. It would look something like that, you know, kind of like a Simpson mouth, you know. So the side view of it is very different. So the side view is also very easy too, because as it kind of comes together at the end, you can kind of put the what do they call it, the jowls, you know what I mean? That little bit of skin over there. I forgot what they call that. It's like a little muscle in there. And so let's kind of get into an actual kind of lip. You know what I mean? Let's kind of get into the lips themselves. We're going to kind of go through and kind of render one out. Let me go back up here. So let's kind of take that front view, like I said, that Cupid's bow shape. Right there. Remember those 2 fat pads. So let's treat this like male lips. You know what I mean? And I'll talk about the difference between male and female lips, and we can kind of go into that. How you kind of do it artistically. You know what I mean? But for now, we're just gonna go into this. I'm gonna shade this upper lip because that's what you tend to do with male lips. With female lips, you kind of tend to make them look like they have lipstick in a way, even if they don't. But with guys, to kind of get them not looking like they're wearing lipstick, you put kind of the upper lip and majority of it in shadow. And then below the lower lip, you kind of put a little bit of shadow under there, like it's casting a shadow. And then you don't really put a lot of shadow there too. Let me kind of go into this more and kind of detail it a little bit. The middle part, it's going to pinch. And I'm going to put more value on this lip here. Yeah, it's got throwing it on here. I'm using just a regular pen right now, and that's mostly for demonstration. You can even choose to kind of split these up here. You know, I told you there's divisions. Because you'll see that in people. You'll see little splits. And right here, lower lip is casting a shadow. It's casting a shadow here, a pretty strong shadow underneath the main part of the lip. But the lip, remember that it tends to roll up into the other skin. So it kind of turns into this like half tone over here. You have to do this slow gradation. And over here with the lip itself, I usually like to throw a little bit of halftone so that you can see the division of the kind of those two fat pads. You know, it looks like a edamame kind of. You know what I mean? Or edamame looks like two beans in kind of this little green sack or whatever. It looks just like that. You know, obviously it varies from person to person. Some people you can really see that split. Some people you can't. Some people just looks like one large, you know, thing. Because after you're learning these stuff, you know, after you're learning these things about features, you'll start to see them in people all over the place. You know what I mean? And the way you kind of look at things will change. And you'll see different types, they call it. And that's how you do it when you actually draw a portrait. You'll get someone's type, you know. What kind of type do they have? Is their lower lip like huge, you know? Is their upper lip huge? Or do they have a huge underbite? Or that, something like that, you know? That is kind of where type comes from, essentially. You're learning the things and seeing how they apply to reality, you know, and kind of changing how they, you know, changing them to customize them. You know what I mean? I'm putting a light shadow pattern over here. And I'm going to go onto the top of the mouth over here and put in what they call the philtrum, I believe. The philtrum is that kind of divot right above your lip. You can even feel it on yourself. It's this little like divot. Kind of this little concave section. Anyways, let me kind of go over really quick the difference between men and female. This is kind of like a male lip. If it was usually, let me kind of put it in a simple graphic. Men, okay, let's just say these are lips. You know, those are just basic ones, like basic little, almost like a diagram. So with men, I tend to put M for men. I tend to, and this is just a style thing too, but this is just what I've seen other artists do and what I do. I darken in the upper lip, and then I put a very deep kind of shadow underneath the lower lip. For women, I tend to kind of almost like shade in almost the whole thing, not all of it, but a big portion of it. Not as dark as the shading, but I would darken this and then start pulling highlights out of the lips, like the fatty pads. And that would be more of a feminine type, you know. And this, like I said, changes, depends on what person, and it, you know, it varies a lot. So find out what it is. I think I've gone over almost everything I kind of talk about for the lips. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to know it. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect the questions I get here, and I'm going to put it in my head drawing video, and I'm going to try and answer them there. So thanks a lot, guys. Let me zoom out a little bit. There you go. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Like this video if you did. I'm going to be doing all the basic stuff, and I'm going to go through a lot of other things soon. So talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.